Hi, I'm Irene Galea. I'm an architectural historian studying banking, and today we're going to look at some old banks. The oldest purpose-built bank in Toronto is also the oldest one in the country. It was constructed in 1827 for the Bank of Upper Canada. The main floor rooms were used as a banking hall, and the basement and upper floors were used by the family of the general manager. In the 1870s, banks took on a new style, and that was called French Empire, which replaced the classical style, which had been popular since the 1830s. This was for the Bank of British North America. By the 1880s, architects were experimenting with international styles and expanding the interior banking halls to reflect the grandeur of the institutions, like here at the Bank of Montreal. At the turn of the century, temple fronts were in. These two banks, possibly the most elegant still standing in Toronto, are across from the Eaton Centre. And the architectural plans for these buildings can be seen at the Archives of Toronto. By the 1910s, Canadian banks were taking a cue from New York City and building up. When this bank was built in 1914, it was celebrated as the most technologically advanced for its time. The Toronto Dominion Bank had a grand banking hall, spacious, coffered executive suites, and the biggest safe ever seen in the city. In the 2 decades that followed, bank branches would be constructed across the city in a range of classical styles that we have now come to know as Edwardian classicism. The Canadian Bank of Commerce was one of the last to build its headquarters in a classical style, and it did so by mixing it in with the Art Deco style. The bank put its elevator bay right at the front entrance, and what this said is that they were technologically advanced and that they had grown so big and so successful that they needed easy access for all of their employees to get all the way up to the top of the tower. I hope you've enjoyed this tour of 100 years of bank architecture in Toronto. Thanks for joining us. See you next year.